From the unforgiving beauty of the Pacific Northwest to some of the strangest buildings in America, these are 11 creepy real horror movie locations. Number 11. The Pacific Northwest. Movie, The Ring. The beautiful Pacific Northwest, where there's more trees than you can count or possibly imagine, and scary-ass little girls that live in wells and like to murder people. I imagine everyone that loves horror movies has seen The Ring, or at least the original Japanese film, Ringu. Many scenes of The Ring were shot all over Washington and Oregon State. It seems like a lot of the movie was based around Rachel driving. Awesome spots like Deception Pass Bridge and the Bridal Veil Falls were turned into unsettling greenish highways that just made you feel so alone. We also have Rachel's apartment, and who can ever forget the creepy things she found at the Morgan's Ranch? Just hope your phone doesn't ring in the next few minutes. Number 10. Matera. Movie, The OMEN. Next stop, Italy, and the beautiful ancient town of Matera. First records show that it was founded by the Romans in 3rd century BC, but there's evidence of human remains in the area dating back 12,000 years. It's only fitting that a movie like The Omen would choose Matera as its Jerusalem backdrop. All of the scenes were shot there. As it turns out, it's one of the most popular spots in Italy. Even though the movie didn't do so well with critics, it was released on 6606, and I mean, that's pretty cool, you gotta give it to them. Number 9. Burkittsville. Movie, The Blair Witch Project. Alright, raise your hand if you have seen The Blair Witch Project. How much time did it take you to lose your fear of the forest again? The movie did exceptionally well at the box office, and it was almost the first of its kind, ushering in a new era of viral marketing and found footage movies that kinda mostly failed to deliver. Actually, the whole movie was shot in just 8 days. The hired actors had about 35 pages of screenplay, and the rest was just improvised. Everything takes place in Maryland. Do you remember those off-putting interviews of locals? Those scenes were actually shot in Burkittsville. And even stranger, they actually used planted extras that the main actors had no idea about. The woods have been a creepy place since forever, and this movie did not help at all. The trinkets, the little wooden dolls, the creepy abandoned house, that ending, oh man, brings back memories. Number 8. Evans City Cemetery. Movie, Night of the Living Dead. Let's face it, cemeteries are sometimes scary, especially if you have the living dead chasing you around. The cult movie Night of the Living Dead was shot in the Evans City Cemetery in 1968, and for the most part, it hasn't changed much. Do you remember the tombstone that Barbara clutches when she's being attacked by the monsters? Here it is today, in all its glory. Most movies are shot in sets, and unless you are willing to pay the studio, there's rarely a chance to see or feel something that you appreciated in a movie. Number 7. 13236 Bavarian Drive. Movie, Paranormal Activity. With a massive budget of 15 grand, Oren Peli and Jason Blum created the monster that destroyed box office records. Did you know the movie grossed $193 million worldwide? Or that Peli and Blum only got 350 grand from it since they sold the rights? It's considered the most profitable film ever, based on return of investment. And now you know why they made 5 more movies. I guess the first one was pretty scary, especially when Katie keeps staring at Mika, or the camera, or when she's staring at nothing, or when, well, you get the point, she stares a lot. Do you want to experience the true horror of the Paranormal Activity at 13236 Bavarian Drive? Well, the house actually went up for sale. For only a cool 760 grand, you too could have experienced night terrors and crazy hauntings. I wonder how many times the new owners have to call the cops on random tourists trying to get their paranormal activity on. Number 6. The Algonquin Provincial Park. Movie, The Witch, was one of the movies that managed to scare the crap out of people. The unsettling tone, the story somewhat being based in reality, and of course the woods, those damn woods. The movie was mostly shot near Ontario in the Algonquin Provincial Park. Vice even said The Witch might be the creepiest horror movie shot in Canada. Do you think the park got a surge in tourism after people found out there's baby-eating witches in the area? Number 5. The Devil's Tower. Movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Close Encounter of the Third Kind? Contact. We are not alone. This is not a drill. There's aliens everywhere. Look it up. If you haven't seen the movie yet, but you love aliens, you need to go watch it immediately. Well, maybe finish this video first. The film is not that creepy, but man, this location sure is. How did the Devil's Tower get its name exactly? Just a mistranslation, actually. The guide for Colonel Richard Irving Dodge misheard the Native American locals. They called it something along the lines of Bear's Lodge or the Bear's Lair. Fun fact, the Devil's Tower is the first declared U.S. national monument. Number 4, the Dakota. Movie, Rosemary's Baby. Man, this movie was weird and creepy. Very, very creepy. I'm definitely not jumping into any details about Rosemary's Baby. If you've seen it, you've seen it. The whole movie is pretty much supposed to be taking place at the Dakota Apartments in New York, officially known as the Dakota. The building was unfortunately used for exterior shots only, but let me tell you, this apartment building has a lot to put on its resume, with residents like John Lennon, Judy Garland, and, of course, Maury Povich. Apparently, it's super hard to get an apartment there. Antonio Banderas, Gene Simmons, Billy Joel, and many more notable artists have been rejected by the vicious board of directors. Are they hiding something? Studio execs were considering making a remake of this brilliant film back in 2008. Their chosen producer? Michael Bay. I wonder what Satan would look like as a Transformer. Number 3, the Oak Alley Plantation. Movie, Interview with a Vampire. Do you love 1800s architecture? Do you like huge, beautiful oak trees lined in a mesmerizing path? Then the Oak Alley Plantation is the place for you. Oh, I almost forgot. Do you also like vampires? Before you get on your high horse, yes, the movie's name is actually Interview with the Vampire. But this whole Mandela effect has taken the internet by storm, so it will be fun to see the bewildered people in the comments section. Don't you just miss Brad Pitt burning the whole place down while Tom Cruise is yelling at him? Number 2, the Timberline Lodge. Movie, The Shining. Here's number 2. The Shining is one of those movies that goes great with non-existent bourbon and your handy wooden bat by your nightstand. In case someone decides to hack your door down. So this one is a bit more complicated. If we're talking about the book, then the inspiration for that was the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. If we're talking about the movie, the hotel used for the outside was the Timberline Lodge in Oregon. And if we're talking about the interior scenes, the inspiration behind those sets came from the Ahwahnee Grand Hotel in Yosemite National Park. So there's quite a few places you can visit and be like, I feel The Shining. Nothing beats snowy nights and empty off-season hotels in the middle of nowhere though. So if you want a true creepy experience, go to the Timberline Lodge or the Stanley Hotel. Before we jump into number 1, let's look at some comments. Alaska, huh? Yeah, let's do it. If it wasn't for this comment, I would actually have forgotten to include one seriously scary movie, The Fourth Kind. Unfortunately, the movie was not shot anywhere near Nome, Alaska. Instead, the producers went with Bulgaria and Canada. John G, I had no idea those two places existed. I will definitely research them in depth. Maybe there's more to the story. And of course, here are some honorable mentions. How about the Blairstown Diner from Friday the 13th? Wonder how good their pancakes are. And after we're done eating there, how about a brisk walk through town? The M Street stairs are a fun way to get some exercise. Unless you're Father Damien Karras from The Exorcist. And we also have the Amityville house, where a gruesome crime was committed. Since then, the house has been known as one of the most haunted places on Earth. Or maybe it's just the countless movies that make it feel that way. Not sure. And finally, we have the House on Haunted Hill. This structure is massive, and in real life, it's referred to as the Ennis House. It actually still stands strong to this day, and yeah, it's a little bit unsettling to look at. Number 1, Point Reyes. Movie, The Fog. So we got our 3rd national park in this video, and this time it's in foggy Northern California, the Point Reyes Lighthouse. This area has a lot going for it in terms of mystery and legend. Most notably, it's believed that Sir Francis Drake made the first European landing in Northern California on these here shores. But back to the lighthouse. The first structure was built in 1855 and stands strong to this day. It is considered a National Historic Place, and John Carpenter had a little bit to do with that, I think. Which movie or location that was listed do you think was the creepiest? Love reading your comment. Check out the featured comment below, subscribe for more World Unearthed, and I'll see you in the next video.